Hey everyone, are you afraid of accident planes? So just hold your frame till the last of video. I am going to master this concept in your brains. So this is Ishant Kumar Arora. Welcome to Fire Explain Solution. Today we are going to deal with the simple concept of axes and planes. So today I have my two accessories with me, which are plane and its axis. Oh, so you are very astonished to see these things, that how I am going to explain this thing. How can we see this plane? Assume this is a plane. Oh, sorry, no need to assume it is a plane. You can already see it's a plane structure. Basically, what are planes? Planes are the 3D phenomenon that are found in 3D structure. Similarly, suppose I want this plane to move or to rotate. For that I need a fulcrum or something on which it can rotate or move. So I placed a fulcrum or an axle like a wheel to move it on the axis. Suppose I have put an axis in between the center of this plane to move it in a circular fashion. Similarly, the planes and axes exist in our body system too. So, and you can see the structure that the axis, this perpendicular structure is perpendicular, making 90-degree angles with the plane. Similarly, it always be applied in our body system when we want to measure or see which plane and axis in which we are doing or performing our movement, anatomical movements. So we apply this concept, the plane structure and the perpendicular axis on which the plane moves. So let me demonstrate you how we apply this concept in our body system. And I hope you are aware of the basic anatomical terms like flexion, extension, abduction, and there are many. So let's begin. Suppose I am going to abduct my arm. In order to abduct, I will move my humerus and this right extremity away from my body system. So this thing occurring in this plane, you can see the plane is complete, is the you can assume this as a complete plane in which the movement is occurring. But I already explained, in order to move in a plane, or suppose I am doing a circular movement, and an axis is required for the movement, and I did like this. And if I demonstrate that abduction on this board, so what I am doing, that this is a neutral position and I am moving like this. So what is the axis here? The axis is crossing from anterior portion, that is the anterior part, and it is crossing my body and moving posteriorly. So anterior posterior axis, that is perpendicular to the plane in which I am moving. So the axis is anterior posteriorly. So whenever you want to assume a plane and axis, just assume a simple plane in your mind and place it on the extremity that you are moving. I'm going to show you one more demonstration. Suppose I am doing side bending on my spine. So this is the extremity, this is the body part which I am moving, and this is the plane. We have written Mr. Plane. So keep it here like this, like this. But to move, we need an axis or an axle or a lever or fulcrum which we place in it. So like this, I placed in it, and left, right, left and right. So what is the plane and axis of that? Plane again is this plane in which I am moving, and axis is that one is crossing from anterior portion to posterior portion. So axis is anterior posteriorly. Same way happens. I am going to demonstrate one more last so that you can get a clear concept of this. Like I am going to move my shoulder joint and perform internal rotation and external rotation. Suppose this is the extremity I am moving in external rotation and internal rotation. So I will keep my plane here now. This and this and this. So what is the fulcrum? What is the fulcrum now on which its rotation occurs? This is the arm and I'm moving like this. Like this. Rotation. So fulcrum is perpendicular to the plane, so it is superior inferiority, because you can see the fulcrum on which it is moving. It is moving from cranial to caudal direction. Okay, so now the concept is clear that if we're talking about from the superior part of the head known as cranium, and lower extremity, we're moving towards the lower extremity is known as caudal. So next part, now we got the complete concept of how to measure or how to assume a plane and axis in our body. Now we are going to calculate that how we have different types of planes. Basically there are three types of planes. What are those? Suppose, think I am standing like this in a side position, and if I want to dissect my body into anterior portion and posterior portion, so a plane will pass. I will take a knife which will pass and divide my body into two parts like this. So this plane which divide my body into anterior and posterior portion is known as frontal plane. Okay, done. Next, I want to know the axis of frontal plane. So I will take my another accessory again. So now I already told the axis is perpendicular. So I put the axis. Now you can easily see this is my plane, frontal plane, dividing my body into anterior and posterior, and axis is anterior posteriorly. It is moving like this. Done. Next, if I want to divide my body into left and right parts, so now I will place my plane like this and put my fulcrum like these. And what is the axis now and plane? This is known as sagittal plane, because I am dividing my body into two parts, or it is also known as median plane. So it is the axis side to side or mediolateral. Okay, so next plane is transverse. Suppose I want to divide my body into upper part and the lower part. I am going to place the plane here or my knife here to cut my body into upper and lower extremity. So I will cut it into two pieces, like putting my plane here, and then where I am going to put the axis, always perpendicular to rotate that part, because in order to rotate the plane I need a fulcrum in the center like a circle. So I put the fulcrum here. Now this is the plane and superior inferiorly is the axis. But we also call, there are two type of transverse plane is also known as horizontal plane, but we do not call it horizontally in case of we are talking about the medial portion of the body or the axial skeletal, because the horizontal term is basically used for the extremities. When we are talking about the extremities movement, we use the term horizontal plane, but we use the term transverse when we talking about our axial skeleton or axial body, which is in the axis of the mid part. So this is the whole concept of axis and plane. You can easily calculate any movement or plane by just assuming a simple plane structure in the 3D structure and assuming a perpendicular plane in which the movement is occurring. As I have shown you many examples. So if you like the video, hit like button, and at last I want to give one question. You have to answer that in comment. Give me the answer that if I flex my wrist, then this movement will occur in which plane and axis. Hope you like the video. Stay tuned.